Hello, I'm Robin and welcome to the Molten Modular DIY corner. Today I'm looking at HEX. HEX, what the heck is it? I hear you say. Well, this is an analog dual resonant filter boomerang or some such. Spaceship, maybe, don't really know. Pterodactyl, who can tell at this point? But essentially what we're going to find is, as far as I can gather, quite a riotous filter in this little beast. Now, Hex sent this to me a very, very long time ago, and I said, sure, no problem, I'll make it. And I just haven't gotten around to it so far, and that's deeply troubling to me. I hate it when I find something on my desk that I meant to look at and haven't gotten around to. But I really appreciate you, Hex, out there, for sending this to me, and hopefully this video will do you some good. Now, I must say that you have an extremely cute build video on your website. It's just lovely, nicely put together, some background soothing music. It's over in about 4 minutes, which is the exact opposite of the sort of thing that I do. Mine are intense long form videos that go on for hours. But looking at this, I don't think it's going to be too troublesome. We've just got a few knobs, a couple of patch sockets, a few capacitors to put on. Relatively straightforward, I think. We should be through it in no time. But hopefully this will give other people who are looking at this a little bit of an opportunity to think, maybe I could build it. Maybe I could. Because there's a whole load of surface mount on here, which has already been done. There's just the hardware really to go on. And it will give you an opportunity to try something out on a nice big PCB where you're not trying to do minuscule soldering like on a Eurorack module, and come out the other end with something that you could drop into any audio signal and just filter the heck out of it. Yeah? So let's have a look. It came with a nice printed out manual, which is great. The same information is available online. I'm just going to follow it online just to make sure I have absolutely the latest version, and we'll see where it takes us. So here is the manual. Let's have a look. It's a great looking thing. I mean, they've got some great products on their page, interestingly shaped things that can scatter across your desktop and create interesting stuff. I mean, it's exactly the sort of thing that I could use with, for instance, the Boom Chick Create Audio analog drum machine, or a bit of Eurorack going through it, or some Dreadbox synths, the Horrorscape. All of these little boxes and bits and pieces you have perhaps knocking around like I do could benefit from being flown through a very destructive filter. That is our plan. That's what we're going to do. So let's have a look. Let's get straight to the DIY side, because otherwise, what are we here for? What are we here for exactly? So we're going to go through the kit and the components. This tells you what it is. It's got a very simple assemble guide here, but as I say, there is a video which we may refer to. I don't know. We'll see how we go. Maybe this here is going to be enough to get us through. So let's have a look at the kit first off. Let's get it comfortable a little bit more. I might even turn my soldering iron on. Let's get that warming up. No bad thing. So there's your PCB. Like I say, relatively simple. You can see where everything's going to go, I think. Oh, look, touch plates and stuff. It has this remarkable sort of milled out back, which I guess this is going to sit on at some point, and then all the components, as they're going, as they need to, will sit where they. I don't know. We'll work that out. A couple of stickers. So I've got knobs, caps, knob turny bits, those bits, bunch of those. Got a bunch of pots, trimmer size pots, and these 4 patch sockets, like so. And then we've got this little bag of bits, which are probably more important. Let's have a look. So we've got these little surface mount capacitors. That's going to be interesting. I have no idea how to solder those. Interesting. That's definitely going to be interesting. I've got some screws. Put those to one side where I'm not going to lose them. Let them roll away. Something with bent pins. Not to worry. I'm sure we'll work out how that goes in a minute. I imagine they all go flat like that. Have I fixed it already? Possibly. Possibly. We shall see. So that's what we've got. And this is our thing. So it says, to assemble, we need soldering iron, pliers, tweezers, patience, clean weld its surface. Some of them are small, take them out one at a time. Most of the tiniest surface mount components are marked with numbers that match the numbers printed on the PCB. Possibly. There really aren't any numbers on the piece. Oh, maybe there are. I need to get my magnifiers out. Take it slow, go step by step. It's like a puzzle. So solder the five of these. It just says get on with it. Right, okay. So let's have a closer look at precisely what we're doing. So these are the 4.7 capacitors. 5 of, yes. These. Definitely these. So let's see if we can find anything on here which is going to tell us where they go. Okay, so on the board here it says 4.7. That's different. That's different. 4.7, 4.7, 4.7, 4.7. Okay, so being interpretive here, in the manual, these things appear to be labelled by number. So you see, I've got 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So I've got 5 lots of 1, okay, which I'm going to make the assumption is associated with this first line on the manual, which is solder the 4.7 microcapacitors. It says, for the correct alignment, observe the printed graphics on the PCB. Okay, this is slightly complicated. Now, what I think would ease us into this and make us feel more confident, because confidence is what you need when you're doing soldering, is that this line has the number 1 on it. So if this said number 1, solder those, look for number 1 on here, that would really make that connection better. Now, I can make that connection by working it out myself, but why not make it easy for us? Just make it easy for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because this, I'm actually thinking, it's quite difficult. Let me see if I can get into these. So I'm taking the top off. So I have one in my hand. So this has got to be orientated right. 4.7. Let's start with this one up here. Now, what I like is that there's a shape. See that shape? It's not a square on here. It's got a point to it, sort of. And that appears to reflect the shape of the actual component. You got that? That's really good. So I think that is going to go on there that way round. Like that. I think so. Right, the other thing to know, this is all good information, I think. So generally speaking, on a capacitor, the line, zoom in there, okay. The line or the mark is negative. That's always the longer leg. No, longer leg positive. But the the line on a capacitor is usually negative. So that's that. And on our PCB and on our diagram, positive is at the pointy end. So that is all coming together so that we're understanding that it should go that way around. Yeah? Are you with me? I think perhaps it would be good to go to the video and have a look. So solder the capacitors. Oh, see, it just gets on with it. Ace. Okay, this is why I'm here, you know. I mean, you know, people say, why on earth do you do these DIY videos? Well, it's because people who make kits, right? Manufacturers who make kits are brilliant, lovely, gorgeous, handsome, and beautiful people. They don't understand what it is you need to see as a person who's coming to this kit for the first time. They never do. They never do. They do their best, you know, and it's usually all workable. But the reason I enjoy doing these is because you immediately stumble into a lack of clarity and realizing that because they know their kit so well, there's a whole load of stuff they just don't think of. So in their video, you could just about glimpse the way round the capacitors go. Now, the way round the capacitors go is absolutely vital, and that needs a little bit more attention. But everything we thought we found out, that we worked out, is essentially true. So that's what we're going to do. So now we're going to enjoy the idea of soldering surface mount. Yeah? So let's get back to our overhead. So what do we have to do this? First of all, we need to put on our safety goggles, because we're going to be doing some quite close work, I believe. So get your soldering iron, stick it in your mouth to test the temperature. No, don't do that, obviously. Don't do that. So we've got our little geezer. What you need to do is put some solder on one of the pads. Doesn't matter which pad it is. Either pad will do. So we are focusing on, let me get this right, focusing on this bit, this one here, this bit here, yeah? Focusing on that. So let's get in nice and close. So this is the way that I do surface mount. I'm just going to turn on some air so I'm not breathing all the fumes. So I'm going to heat one pad, and I'm going to present it with some solder in the hope that it sticks on the pad rather than just on the iron like that did. Brilliant, just brilliant. Then I'm going to bring in my little geezer. I'm going to take a pair of tweezers, I think. Anything like that to hand? You would think I would, you know, somebody of my... Oh, here we go. Pair of tweezers. Gosh, these are terrible. I'm trying to make those a bit flatter. So what I'm going to want to do, I want to drop that on there and have it stick. Now, to get it around the right way, first of all, we're going to have that line facing downwards. I think that's the same on all of those, so that the shape underneath matches the shape on the screen print. Yeah, and that means it's going to be that way round, this way round. You with me? Good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick that up, I'm going to reheat that solder, and then attempt to drop it on. Not saying that it's easy, like. Oh no! 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 No, it could all be over. Oh no! Oh, it just went. It really just went. It went. It absolutely went. Where did it go? Oh, bugger! I'm in so much trouble now. Now, it hit me. In which case, it's right there. Okay. That was just awful. So, how did they do it? Right, so I found it. Okay. Don't use the tweezers, right? Don't use the tweezers. Get rid of the tweezers. Apparently you just do it by hand. According to their video, you just do it by hand. So we're going to have this the right way round in our fingers, and we're just going to heat the thing up, place it down. This is very exciting. This is by the seat of your pants type soldering. Right, so let's see if I can do that. I'm going to heat that up. Push that did not work. That did not work. Alright, that's on a little bit, but I now can't see the pad. Okay, that's not good enough. That's not quite right. It's at the right angle. That's not going to do it because I can't see this other pad. Alright, this is quite exciting. So I'm going to heat it up again, try not to get my finger, and move it forward. Hold it. Okay, that's a bit better. That's a bit better. We've got more of these to do, so hey, do you see that? So what I did, I heated up the pad so that the solder was good, and then I fingered it into it, took the soldering iron away, so then it cooled, and then released my finger. I've now got to solder this side of it, but I can see that it is only just about on there. Gee whiz, but I need to move it some more. Okay, so alright, I'm going to keep at this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add a bit more solder to it. Let's see if I can do that. So I'm going to heat here, add a bit more solder, so it has a little bit more to get into. And I'm going to heat it again, move this around. That's better. Try not to melt the plastic bottom of the capacitor. See, you had no idea that this is going to be quite so intricate. Right, so let's turn it round, or put it in some way that we can make this work. So I've now got to put solder on this bit here so that it flows into the connection. So there's just enough of that pad for me to see. I'm going to heat up, hopefully some solder is going to flow. I think that might be all right. This is wild. Right, let's try it again. There's another one here. Heck, has to go on here. So what I'm going to do is stick a load of solder on this first pad, on this top pad. Okay, a bit more than I did last time. Now I might leap and do another one while I'm here. Like that. 4.7. 4.7. But the point is, I could actually do all of these because I'm going to be having the same experience with the 10s as well, which is there and there. So I've done the top pad of all of those capacitors. So this one, got to remember that the black line is going to be going downwards. So I need to heat that up and then push that in. So heat it up, push it in, keep going, just desperately trying not to put my finger on the soldering iron. Woo! Okay, got that on. I think there's just about enough room here for me to heat that pad, get that connection. So heat that pad somehow. The solder should flow. Good. Next one is here. Heating the pad, pushing it in. That's good. That was a neat one, that one. Very neat. Then I apply heat on the pad that I can see. Give it some solder. Okay, that's 3. Heat this pad, push up the capacitor, trying to keep it straight. Ow! That was hot. That was hot. Oh dear, dear oh me, dear oh me. Come on, you can do this. Well, I had no idea this was going to be so fun / challenging. Yeah, okay, that's working nicely. Good, good. So, last one here. I think that's in. So there you go. They don't seem to be moving, and they're all round the right way. So I think that's been okay. So I've now got these other two to do. These ones here. And these say, I don't know, 1.0 on them. 10 is it? 10 microfarad? Something like that. Anyway, it says so on the top. And again, you've got the line. And these are all the same way around. So again, the line is going to be pointing downwards. And the shape of the underside is the same. And we're going to use that shape and the shape that's on the PCB. Those are going to match up. So, again, here we go. Ow, my finger still hurts a little bit. Here, the pad. Stick on the thing. Great. Just while I'm here, oh, I've lost the other one. Oh, damn it, that's a shame. No, there is. I'm gonna do this one at the same time. Going all out of order. Not quite right. Cool. Turn that around. So I'm trying to get in there and heat that pad. Well, that's a new experience for me. I've never soldered those sorts of surface mount capacitors. I've soldered plenty of this sort by hand, these sorts of things, but never in this form. So that was interesting and challenging, particularly for the first time if you're doing it. So that, I'm still assuming on our manual, is 1 and 2. So what is 3? 3 should be the 5-pin head on the bottom of the PCB. Align the indent on the wooden to the wooden base. Okay, so 3 is in that bottom corner. So here. So if you look underneath, it's got it printed on this nice big square on the screen print. So this has to go in here, I think is the idea. My pins are a little bit bent, so I'm just going to do that like that. And this has to also align with this. So presumably this chunky bit over here. So maybe, yeah, look, you see it points out the side. That's clever. This is a little patch bay, I believe. Gosh, it only just fits these side bits here. But maybe it's worth soldering with that in place. I think that sounds like a good idea. I'm going to go for that. See, we've just got our 5 pins poking out there. That's fitting in there nicely. I'm just going to lay that down and I'm going to solder it where it is. Yeah? Sounds like a plan. Let's do it. Good. So, next, solder the 3.5 jacks times 4. So this is presumably number 4 on our manual here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, do they go up or down? Oh, looking at the side of it, they're going to be going on the top, aren't they? Like so. I'm kind of digging the transparent bit of it. That's kind of nice. That's really kind of cool. Be able to see the plug going in. Is that exciting? Well, you know, we like anything that's a little bit different. Yeah, got that in. Got that in. One more. Okay, just checking that they're all coming through and I haven't accidentally folded a leg over. No, they all look pretty good. All right, easy peasy. So just do the soldering on the legs underneath, and that's a good one. Lovely. All done. Look at that. There's a whole lesson just in seeing that happen. Just in watching that happen is just, you know, your mind gets blown. How these things work. Simple. Brilliant. Love it. Love it. All right, number 5 is solder pots. Salt pots areas. Don't put the knobs on until you're finished. So the 7 pots. So they all go in the number 5 space. Number 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So yeah, label it. Just put 1 to 5 down that side. Just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you will have absolute certainty, which is what we like. Certainty is what we like. So I don't need an object, just the pots. I'm assuming they're all the same because they haven't said anything else. So they appear to be. I wonder what these little symbols here mean. I don't know, it must be something to do with the pot, but it looks like a resistor with a you know, a resistor that's on fire is what that is what that looks like. But I think the general idea, I mean, it seems obvious enough, doesn't it? Which way they go. You've got your 3 pins, your 3 slightly skew-if pins. They go in, and then the 2 lugs go either side. Pretty straightforward. That pretty straightforward. Can't get it wrong. Can't get it wrong. Am I kidding? What I am going to get wrong is when I turn it over and they all fall out. I mean, you know, I could try to be clever. Should I try to be clever? Alright, I'm going to just try to be clever. What I'm going to do, I'm going to solder 1 leg on each from this way up so that they don't all fall out when I turn it over. That sounds like a master stroke. Master stroke. Now, which one is the question? I'm going to do one of the front ones rather than the big lugs because they often require a lot of solder. I just kind of want to tack this in. So I'm just going into this corner here. Going to add a little bit. These don't, I mean, there's no front panel going over the top or anything like that, so they don't need to be massively straight or fitting in any other way. So we have quite a bit of leeway getting this to work. Of course, you actually need the solder to go on both the leg and the pad would be good, as opposed to just all over the place as that one is. Dear, dear, oh dear. Oh, in a minute, I'm going to discover that this was a terrible idea. Try not to melt the knobs with the side of the soldering iron. All right. Alright, that knob there is a little bit wayward. So what I'm going to do, just going to warm that one up just to sort of, because you can see it's a little bit wonky compared to the others. The others are relatively straight. Quite happy with that. This one not so much. So I'm just going to put my thumb on that, heat this up, just to try to straighten it. There we go. Better. Now I can turn it all over and do all the proper soldering. Yeah? Great. See you on the other side of that. Yeah, one thing on these big lugs, actually, I mean, it's one of those things you don't necessarily have to solder often, but because these don't have a front panel, they're not attached to a front panel which would give them rigidity, you kind of need to solder these on here so that you don't snap your knobs off. The problem is, these are enormous holes that I'm trying to sort of fill with solder, which seems, I don't know, a little bit wasteful. But hey, I'm going to go and do it anyway. But they could be a lot smaller. Or even just slots as opposed to great big circular holes. Aesthetically nice, but solder hungry. Now there are a couple of bits which are quite close to the surface mount, so just, you know, don't risk it accidentally unsoldering something, so come at it from a different angle. I don't want to lean on that chip, for instance. Let me do these three here. Good. I think that's all those on. So when finished, check if all the solders are well connected. Yeah, okay. Well, as best as we can tell. Clip off excess steel leads on the bottom side and see if it fits in the wooden base. Insert the bolts, tighten the knobs. Okay, so we have to see whether it fits together here. I think it does. I mean, honestly, there was nothing here that we did that feels like it needs to be cut down particularly. I mean, there are things that stick through, but not massively. So I think we've gotten away with it. I think. So these are going to match up, and it's just going to flipping work. That's the idea. There doesn't seem to be anything really creating much of a gap. I don't think so. I think that's all good. Insert the bolts through the base and then tighten the nuts. So these, I guess, we're talking about are going to go up, what, through here? The nuts go, yeah, the nuts go in from the top, and then these lovely little silvery chromy nodules that go on the underside that don't want to screw straight on. There we go. Can become the feet. That's good. I like that. That's nice. Now these are the really annoying hex ones, and it didn't come with a hex screwdriver, but if anything like me, you've got a dozen of those little hex Allen keys just knocking around the place from other such bits of annoyance. But I reckon for now, finger tight is fine. Nice, nice. Set everything to the central position. See, that's not right. I wouldn't do that. I would set everything hard left, right? Set everything hard left. Well, I don't know. I mean, because you're going to put these knobs on. I guess if you set everything center, that's going to all be the same. Yeah, because you've got this line in the middle, which we assume is center. All right. So let's just do what it says. Stop trying to be clever. So set everything to the center. Like that. And then place your knobs on the center. Good. No, actually get it the right way around. Come on, get it the right way around. Damn it, I completely blew that. Completely blew it. I did that completely wrong. Look at me, because I had it the wrong way up. Oh, you idiot. So I've got all these backwards. Oh my goodness. See, you know, it's important that you do take the time. I mean, I just noticed that it's nearly lunchtime and my stomach's starting to go, and it's like, oh, you know, I need to get this finished. So I didn't give it that last bit of care. Ugh. Right, so this is this way up. This is the way up it should be. So this is where you put it in the middle. Good. Push them all down. That's much better. That is much, much better. That's what you want. Bish, bash, bosh. The hex, whatever this is called, the row. This is called row. And that is done, I think. That is done. Good. That's very exciting. It's a nice looking thing. Really, really nice looking thing. It's going to go well with my collection of odds and sods that I have over here. It's going to go very well with that. Hopefully those capacitors are all right on there. Well, we're going to find out very shortly. Well, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get some food in me. I'll come back, test it with a few bits and pieces and see if we can get it to make some noise. I think that would be very exciting. Looking forward to that. Otherwise, build-wise, yeah, it was straightforward. It was a challenge with those capacitors. That was really interesting. You know, take your time, think about it, and it's totally doable. It was just slightly strange. Everything else worked okay, bar my own stupidity, which you can't ever account for, really. So good, inputs, outputs. Yeah, right. I'll be back and we'll sort that out. Right, here we have it. I brought some friends in order to run a few bits and pieces through it. I'm going to bring some Eurorack in as well, drum machine, see what happens. This is a mixer. The manual is pretty sparse on what's going on, or rather it is and it isn't, because what I've noticed, oh okay, yes, okay, so we do have numbers that tell us about different things. And we have this over here which doesn't necessarily refer to numbers. Oh, it does a bit, there we do. Okay, it's a little bit better up here then. We can see more or less what's going on. Can we? Possibly. First thing we're going to need is some power. So let's get that bit done first. USB-C, which is cool. There's no cable that came with it or anything, so it's just relying on what you have knocking about. Plug that in. And we have a green light. Green light is very, very positive, because I don't actually know whether it's working yet. I'm going to make some assumptions. What can we find out? So this appears to be an input, this appears to be an output. But there is also a sort of a calibration we need to do beforehand. So if we come down to the bottom, it says to tune, turn all the gain and frequencies to minimum. Gain, frequencies to minimum. Center to middle. Is that this? And res to max. Adjust the trimmer on the bottom to set the filters to the desired minimum cutoff frequency. What is that? What is that? What's the... Oh, look. I don't have a bottom anymore. Oh, arse. Right. Alright, so that's a little bit of a flaw then in your instructions, because it's told you to do this, to put this on. It does this at some other point here. Alright, I think we're just going to use it as we're going to try it out as it is and just see what happens. Just see what happens. But yeah, that's a little bit of a misstep. Should tell you to do that before you put this bit on. Not that it's a major hassle to take it off, but you know. So there are two channels, each controlled by three potentiometers, got 2 groups of 3, and a side chain by the centre. Both channels are the same topology. Inputs, this one and this one, are fed into each channel's gain stage and then passed to their filters, which can either attenuate or amplify by 20. Note the amplification affects the filter's behaviour, high gain, etc., etc. Left channels, post gain signal is filtered and fed into the envelope follower. Alright, there's stuff going on. But let's see if we can get some sound out, shall we? I think that would be good at this point. So this appears to be an output. So I'm just going to... I don't know. What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? So I'm going to take an output here. I'm going to plug that into my mixer, into channel 5. It isn't doing anything currently. Channel 5. Okay. A little bit of self-oscillation. I'm going to take a filter, which I've got here. Not a filter. Take a bass line. Drum machine into the other input. Alright, it's clear that I have no clue what it is I'm trying to do or achieve. Alright, you've got 2 channels, each controlled by 3 pots. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Side chained by the centre, whatever the heck that's supposed to mean. Both channels have the same topology, so they should sound the same. Inputs, this one and this one, are fed into each channel's gain stage and then passed to their filters. The input signal level can be adjusted by the gain. Right, so let's attempt to work this out. So I've got this bass line going in. If I put everything to its minimum, in channel 1, bass line, gain. There's some gain there. Frequency. There's my bass line. Resonance. I can play with that all day. Bassline going in. Now I should be able to do exactly the same. I've added some delay, alright? I should be able to do the same plugging it in here. Gain. There we go. Okay, so far that seems sensible. Channel coming in, going out the same output, both of those happening at once. However, when I plugged the second input in, I could not hear the drums for the life of me. Is it possible I've now fixed it? So I can't hear the bass line now. I can only hear the drums. Just going to kill that delay for the minute. Whether that's in or not makes no difference. Each channel has a side mounted switch for low pass or band pass. Touch the golden pads to manually route the flow of audio control voltages. Okay, I mean I can do a bit of that. So there are these switches at the side. They're both pointing in the same direction. They feel low pass to me, which is what I like. I just don't know. So the HEX row then, or actually probably row. That's probably what it is. The HEX row. Well, I confess I'm a bit baffled. I don't fully comprehend what it is that they're trying to tell me. But what I get, right, is that you plug something in and then you filter the heck out of it and it comes out the other side. What I can't work out is this parallel serial feedback stuff. I can't work out what these are for. I can't work out what's going on with that. I can't seem to get two inputs in coming to one output. I mean, the outputs seem to be different, and yet the manual says that they're the same. They're mirrored, or are they? I don't know. I mean, I've got a bass line and a drum machine going in, right? Which is what I've got. And it sounds fantastic. I mean, flipping awesome. I mean, there's some craziness going on in there, without any doubt. I've added some delay for funds. But what? I cannot hear the bass line. If I put the bass line in by itself, there's a thing going on, yeah? I get that. I don't seem to have two of them going on, but then I probably need to connect something to make that happen. Or turn a thing. I don't know. The other output seems different, not the same as the other one. And I don't know why. Put the drum machine in. Is that there? Possibly. As for plugging bits in here, well, I never did. I just don't know. So anyway, the HEX RAW. I don't know. I mean, what a fantastic noise-making machine of absolute filter destruction. I'm sure if you spend time enough with the manual and really, start off with a simple premise of putting something in and taking something out, you can work out what the heck it is they're talking about. Because there's definitely stuff in here. And if you look at the demo video, there's stuff going on. But none of which I can really project into this instrument by myself. But then this is not necessarily my scene, noise and glitch and stuff like that. I'm a bit more of a melodic kind of guy. But heck, it's certainly capable of some extraordinary sounds. So there you have it. I will leave it there, I think, before I get any more baffled, and let you go and check out the videos on the hex.house website. Go and see what it really is about. Hopefully my fumblings have given you some kind of flavour as to something that this could do. And thanks ever so much, Hex, for sending it to me. That was a very enjoyable build. I liked putting that together. I've enjoyed making this video. And that's really all I'm about. So I hope that was helpful. And in the meantime, go make some tunes.